This is Justice Now, and this is actually going to be my second video for part 8. I did an earlier video and it failed to upload, unfortunately. So I'm just going to do this one and hope that it uploads. Part 8 in the series of workplace mobbing was in regards to the profile of the persons who join the perp in abusing you. Some people call them flying monkeys, in reference to Alice in Wonderland with the Queen of Hearts, having her flying monkeys terrorize. Others call them enablers. Others call them admirers of the perps. I call them extensions of the perpetrators. I call them persons who choose to side with the perpetrator for their own gain. In some of the YouTube videos that I've been reviewing, when they talk about people who join the perpetrator in their abuse against you or against the target, then they usually say, well, it consists of good people who do not know any better. I absolutely feel that's false. My observations actually prove that it's false. Often these people who join in with the perpetrator see a benefit in joining them to abuse you. And whether it's because they are cowardly and don't wish to be the target themselves by speaking up, or because they are already pathological in their own way, their reasons and intentions at this point really do not matter. The fact that they joined in, know what they're doing, is disgusting enough, and it says a lot about them. Now, for those who tend to join in with the perpetrator, they tend to, and it's really interesting in my observations, and other targeted individuals can add to this, they tend to consist of people who are desperate for attention, who are desperate for acceptance. These tend to be people who are afraid to be alone and need to conform. I've noticed the people who often join in with the perpetrators, they will set you up as well as the targeted individual. They'll set you up to then, and it could be something that is, very simple, but they'll go back to the perpetrator and their group to embellish, to make it seem more than it is. I know that that's happened to me, and I'll give you an example. Last week at work, I received a text, because we have an internal text message system in the office. So I received a text by one of the people who joined the perpetrator. Now, I've never had any issue with this person. I've been, as always, professional with everybody. So this person turned. What I mean turned is they turned against me based on whatever the perpetrator was saying, or maybe because they felt desperate enough they needed to join the group, and so they can feel like a person themselves. I don't know. Whatever pathological reason they have, I'm not a doctor to diagnose what they have. But she turned around and she said she wanted to see me. So I went and I saw her, and she had asked me a question, and I answered it. She didn't greet me. I didn't greet her. I don't go out of my way for someone who's abusing me, and that's it. Because I've already set boundaries. I draw the line. I don't I'm not playing nice to these people anymore. They are very disrespectful, very disgusting. So she didn't greet me, I didn't greet her. As soon as the conversation finished, she ended up going straight to the area where the perpetrator and the others who've joined in to embellish on how I uh, didn't greet her. I mean, it's really stupid, you know, the what they're doing. So, but it just adds to what they do. It adds to their strategy, right? They set you up. They don't talk about what they've done to elicit a response. They only talk about your response, and even if your response is reasonable, which mine was, she asked a question, I answered it, and went on with my day. They will embellish to make it more than what it is, to make it seem as if you were a terrible person regardless. So you could just literally come in, put your stuff down, turn on the computer, get yourself entered into the program that you need to start your day. You haven't seen these people, but on the other aisle, you will hear them talking about how you didn't even greet them. You know, what about reciprocity? Reciprocity doesn't exist. They can't come around and greet me. Like, it's just, but again, it's crazy making. It's all to elicit a response. So, the other things that they will do is they will just add fuel to the fire. You know, they'll walk past you. They will make snide comments towards you. They will stalk you. And they too will turn around and say false things to other people. You know, to add to the gossip, to the malicious gossip against you. And add to you being excluded from the group. I guess they think that excluding me from the group is going to do anything. It doesn't. In fact, I prefer to be away from a group of, and I say loosely, people that choose to be pathological and abusive to others. I'm not of the same cloth as they are. I have dignity. I'm competent in what I do. I'm respectful of other persons, of their space, and I'm respectful of diversity. And I'm very understanding and helpful and likable. They choose to be what they are, and I'm glad that I am not them, because if I were them, I would be very miserable. And that's what I've come to realize. These people that join in, they were miserable before they met you. They will be miserable after you leave. And they will choose someone else to be miserable too, because they choose to be miserable people. This is where, when you're in this type of situation, you start to realize the type of profile that they elicit or that they comprise of. And it's pretty much similar. They need to be a part of a group. They need to they are willing to do things to be part of that group, even if it means at your expense. So they have no benevolent means towards you. You know, even though most likely, and you're going to find in most cases as a target, you've never had any issue with them. All you've done is say, good morning, how are you? That's it. With most of the people who have joined in with the perpetrator, I don't even know them. For most, I don't work with them. I don't know them. I just know that they're in a different department. If we see each other passing by, it's to greet and say hi. How's the weather? Go back to my work. So you're going to find that you're going to have a whole lot of people that will just lie about you. And then join in and support the other person in lying about you. It's really pathological, very pathological. But the thing is that because you're one person and they are a gang of liars that have a tsunami of lies against you, strength in numbers. There's strength in them abusing you. So then you get drowned out. And then again, the company ends up protecting people like this because the company's brand is at risk. If the company is to turn around and say, yes, this actually occurred, then part of the company's brand becomes workplace harassment exists at this workplace. So rather than stating what it is, what's occurred, and solving it, they would much rather turn around and agree with the perpetrator and say, nope, the target individual is the problematic person and the targeted individual needs to leave. Now, these people with workplace mobbing, they target one at a time. They're they do serial targeting. They target one person one at a time. They're not going to, it's very rare that they target a whole group of people. Right? They're not going to target 4 or 5 or 6. They might target 4 or 5 or 6, but it's not going to be at the same intensity. Right? So, I mean, this is what they do, and this is how they get away with it. So, what do? You just keep documenting, and if they are harassing you, if they're insulting you, you ask them, are you insulting me? If you are, please stop. Are you harassing me? If you are, please stop. Silence. Do not say anything else. Go back to your work. Put down your boundaries. Enough is enough. Because they are trying to get you out. They're trying to break you down. You need to fight back. You stay professional, but you need to fight back. And you fight back with your professionalism. Call it out. Are you doing this? Please stop. Are you doing that? Please stop. And name the this or that. Name what it is. Are you insulting me if they're being insulting? Stop. Are you harassing me? Stop. Are you following me? Please stop. They will be taken aback. You're going to see then a spike of behavior. It's maladaptive, what they're doing. But this is how you're going to start taking your strength back. I'm going to go to the next video and give you some additional strategies of what to do. But that's typically a profile of those who tend to join the perp.